Hey guys, it's Brielle again. Um, I am here to talk to you guys about silence. If you see me looking down, I kind of wrote down my thoughts in my journal. This is my favorite journal. It's so pretty, isn't it? So if you see me looking down, that's where I'm looking because sometimes, like I've said previously, I'm more of a writer, not really a speaker. I'm kind of so what I've been doing is I'm just kind of writing down my thoughts and then not just reading them, but it's a little easier for me to do that. But anyway, I want to talk about silence. Is silence really golden? Um, I've have you guys ever heard that saying? It's like, uh, silence is golden, but duct tape is silver. I think that's so funny because I have a little sister. Like you've seen her name's Ashlyn. She talks a lot. Sometimes I would love to duct tape her face in a loving sibling way, of course, but still, she talks a lot. So sometimes I would agree. Silence is golden. Great. But I was reading my Bible the other day. Well, I mean, I read my Bible every day. I hope you do too. But specifically, the other day I was reading something and it stuck out to me. I was reading in Isaiah chapter 57, verse 11. I was reading the New Living Translation. I read that for my personal daily Bible reading. If your pastor does not agree with that, then follow whatever your pastor says. I do go by King James Version for doctrinal stuff, but for my personal reading, I prefer to read the New Living Translation. Follow whatever your pastor says. My pastor's okay with that. It's all good. But Isaiah chapter 57, verse 11 says, "Is it because of my long silence that you no longer fear me?" That kind of struck me. I was like, it's a little strange. uh, and just, do we perceive God's continual silence and grace as approval for things? Is that possible? Am I even making sense? Now, we are living in the grace period. That's what they call right now, where God doesn't immediately punish us for our sins. I mean, we're obviously not in the Old Testament where Isaiah is, where um, people are being swallowed by the earth and like struck by lightning and all this stuff, like dying on the spot, getting leprosy on the spot for the sins that they've committed. Thank God we are not living in Old Testament times anymore. We are in the grace period where we're not immediately dying for anything we do wrong. But I think sometimes we take God's silence for granted. Like, oh, he's not punishing me now, so I'll just ask for grace tomorrow and it'll all be okay. I hate to be Debbie Downer, but you may or may not have tomorrow. So, I wouldn't take silence for granted. Now, he goes on in that chapter of Isaiah 57 to say that God will expose all of your deeds and judge them accordingly. However, if we turn to him, he will show mercy and grace toward us. We should never take God's voice for granted. Don't take his correction for granted. Don't take his direction for granted. Because a lot of people don't have that. And if you're getting direction from the Creator, that should not be taken lightly. If you're getting correction from the Creator, that should not be taken lightly. But just like we shouldn't take God's voice for granted, we shouldn't take his silence for granted either. He's not punishing us immediately. We should be really thankful for that. But is that enough to bring us to our knees and receive the grace that he's giving us in this grace period? Now, that's where my written notes end. But I want to continue talking a little bit about grace. Grace is not a get out of jail free card. Grace is God saying, okay, I'm going to give you another chance. Now, that's where mercy and grace come together. Because mercy is saying, I don't know why they just call it the grace period. It should really be the mercy and the grace period. I don't know. Well, because mercy is saying, I'm not going to give you the punishment that you deserve. Like, while grace is saying, okay, I'm going to give you more than you deserve. I'm going to give you another chance. So, like, mercy is saying, okay, I'm not going to kill you now. But grace is saying, okay, I'm going to give you another chance. Now, that, like I said, that's not a get out of jail free card. You can't just do whatever you want and then say, oh, but we're in the grace period. I can do whatever I want. And, I'll just receive God's grace and, we'll be good. It doesn't work that way. Because, like Isaiah says, he will judge you. Maybe not now, but at the end of your life, you're going to have to give an account for everything you did. If it's not covered by the blood or by grace. Well, I mean, by blood and grace. So it's not, I can do whatever I want because I'll ask for forgiveness later. You may not have later. That may not be an option for you. You never know. So, is silence really golden? I guess that's up to you to decide. Well, that's the end of my thoughts for today. I hope you'll continue to check out the video blog. And happy 4th of July. It's this Friday. Hope you guys have a great 4th of July. Or Independence Day, or whatever you call it. So, until next time, have a good one.